The following is Susan's East Texas property investigation of 2020, part 1. We're not using her last name for obvious reasons. Susan and the family has lived on this property for the last 12 years, and there's always been activity. However, in the last 3 to 4 years, this activity has ramped up. There's only been one other investigator on this property, and we won't name drop that name. But he was, let's just say, he called to get an escort off the property. So the area is very active. The following is video, pictures, and audio of the evidence we found during our investigation. Part 2 will come soon, and that will include Susan and her husband's audio interview of all the encounters that they've had on the property. Please enjoy.
Oh, that you said that's the air conditioner that came through.
That's the air conditioner that comes through, where the one with the vent in it. And my niece, we got chased by the wolves. My niece and my son's friend were here, and I told them, I said, well, y'all just come in here and watch TV with me. We're laying in the bed. The little boy was laying in front of the air conditioner. All of a sudden we heard, bam, on the side of the tree. What was that, y'all? What was that? And he's looking at me going, I don't know. About the time we heard that air conditioner pick up and wham! Landed on the floor.
That's intense right there.
Yeah, you know, you told me I left some kids.
How long was it ago that they left the prints on the windows?
Last year.
6 foot. Mm-hmm. So.
Put your hands up like that. Look. Yeah, that's good.
See, my husband was just diagnosed last year.
I'm 6 foot tall, so he's got to be 7 foot. So we'll look in the window. He's got to be probably maybe 8 foot tall. Handprint there, look in up there.
Bam! And I sat up in the bed and he looked at me. I said, baby, that wasn't me. He said, what was that? I said, well, your guess is as good as mine, but it wasn't me. And I come out here the next morning and had handprints. I said, they picked them in on me.
Are they hitting the whole back side of the house or mainly one side?
No, they're coming right now to the back, but we just put cameras up back here. I'll show you where I hang my recorder out.
There's some more fingerprints that look.
Oh yeah. Are these the same prints or different?
Oh, I don't know.
Those are new.
I ain't never seen them.
Look smaller.
They look like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like he put his hand up like this and slid down it.
I ain't never seen them. That might be why we keep hearing noises in the.
I can't get it from this angle.
Yeah.
I got too much shade.
We just
So I'm
had
trying to get it with this
cameras up
camera and my phone, both.
there. Them are new.
With my phone too.
There it goes. It just had to focus
Yeah,
there.
right. You see any dermal ridges in it? Any little finger ridges?
There's a lot of smear from the
Yeah.
dirt. So.
Can you see them?
No.
See, that's how them other ones were. We didn't see none in it.
Because they have
There you go,
really
chicken.
oily skin. And anything they touch leaves an oily film on it.
Okay.
So if you ever come
That's
across,
might be why them are staying as long
Yeah.
as they're there.
Yeah.
they got a lot of oil in them. So if you ever notice a fresh one that's real fresh, get some of that clear packing tape, and you can pull off a piece of that tape and put over it, pull it off, and then you got DNA evidence.
Cool.
You got DNA evidence.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Right, this is a recording that Susan got on her property in East Texas. The recording is not the actual audio recording from the recording device, but it was recorded over to her phone, and she does not have the original. However, this one from her phone that we recorded is pretty amazing. So I'll let it speak for itself, and let's play through it. Yeah, so as you can see, that's pretty spectacular. Susan's got a lot of things going on property in East Texas. This is right near a lake, the Texas Louisiana border. Really a really hot area for Sasquatch activity. Tons of reports on her property. There's been a male spotted, a female spotted, a juvenile spotted, and I believe a toddler as well. There's a lot of knocks, bangs, handprints on windows, a little bit of everything going on. There's a great gifting site they have that's right in the back of the property where 4 trails meet. A lot going on there as well. We're going to play some more audio for you so you can hear everything that's kind of going on around there.
Right. And I thought, what are they doing? What is that?
Your husband look around in here and see if he got
We
anything
have
missing?
looked. We haven't found nothing missing. I've left marbles up here in the windowsill,
Right.
and they're gone.
Have you noticed anything new?
No.
Have they given you anything?
No, I haven't noticed nothing. Not
Hey,
nothing.
we're
Hey,
here.
we're here.
But I'm not familiar with that trail. My husband made that trail.
Pretty thick in through there
Yeah,
too,
it's
so
pretty thick. And I'm thinking they're using that trail. Coming in through there.
Maybe a partial.
Or something's come through right there.
Yeah, it looks like a partial the front of the front part of the foot.
But that trail stays beaten down and we don't ever use it.
Wow.
But you can tell where something goes up through there.
Do you do so? A technique that I do, if I'm in a spot like this, I'll take my cell phone and I'll just snap picture.
Yeah, I've tried that.
Then I'll go through the pictures and I'll blow them up. And now a lot of people see.
Now, in this particular tent, which is behind the residents on the property, behind their house, this is right by the gifting area. This gifting area is basically a 4-way trail where they can come from the left, right, south, which would be the Lake Caddo. And there was a very famous Bigfoot researcher. We're not going to do any name dropping here, but he came out and investigated the property. He's the only other person that has investigated this besides me and Paula Ragsdale to date. He stayed in this tent. His attempt was to stay overnight and see what kind of activity he would get. Sometime during the night, I believe it was around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, he had called the residents of the house to come on back there and get him and escort him out. He was not staying out there anymore, and about all he would reveal was that the tent kept getting pushed down over and over repeatedly. Was there more to it than that? Don't know, but in order for this guy to leave, he had to be pretty freaked out. So that just gives you a little bit of a gist of the Sasquatch activity that goes on this property. So at Susan's property, at her gifting area, where she would be leaving apples as well as peanut butter at the spot in the basket, we went ahead and told her to put them in some plastic bags so we could see how the Sasquatch family would approach the bag now that the apples are actually in a Ziploc bag. And basically what we got back was we had some little rodent bites, as seen here. A couple of little ones right here. But then we get this. And you can see the teeth, very prominent in this plastic bag. I mean, you can't miss that. There's another one here. And a second on the back side, but it's been ripped up pretty good. So this is the most prominent here. And you can see the size of those teeth. Although this is still, we think, the smaller one. There's a junior, and there's actually a infant one that's been seen as well. But for now on, she's putting everything in plastic bags so we can see what else we can get. And also, while we were out there, we taped, Paul Ragsdale taped peanut butter and Kool-Aid to a tree. And it was tight. It was really tight. And we pulled some tape back in reverse style so we can get some hair samples. And there is hair on the tape. Susan showed us pictures of it. She's stored it all properly. So next time we go out, we'll be taking a look at that and see what happens. Okay, so on this one, it'll be a good example of some more little taps, little knocks, but mainly what sounds like something being thrown up on the roof and rolling down. And as usual, I'll skip the dead space so I don't bore you to death. And as I said before, this stuff just goes on all the time. And next you're going to hear what I was talking about, where it sounds like something thrown up on the roof and it rolls down and then hits something. Well, you listen to that one again. You know, that sure sounded like something hit the roof, rolled down, and then fell off the roof and made impact on something. And then right here is something similar, but I'm not quite sure if it is something hitting a roof. Kind of hard to tell on this one. I'll let you listen to that one more time. And again, this is nightly activity when they're around. So imagine having this go on all night long. Okay, so on this one, got a whole lot of that creaking noise. A little bit of tapping, a little bit of slap, but mostly that creaking noise. You'll really hear it in this one. Okay, so now you're about to really hear that creaking noise. It's going to be really pronounced here. Now what we think possibly might be stepping on the back steps because they're wooden, and something with significant weight might make that creak. She also leaves some snacks right out back here, and her recorder's out there in the sheds right there, so lots of things to make noises against. And this one here is again right outside her back door. This is also where she places her recorder at, and again where some of the snacks go for them. And basically what you hear is it could be a slap against the shed or another piece of metal around there, but it could also be something thrown at the shed or another piece of metal around there. I'll let you listen and you can come up with your own opinion on that. Let you listen to it again. So it definitely could be a slap or something thrown at it. So in this one, we've got what sounds like maybe owl mimics, or it could be an owl. It just doesn't quite sound right. But there's also a couple of little knocks and bangs in there. But we'll let you listen to these. You can come up with your own opinion on it. Yeah, like I said, that's one that you can come up with your own conclusion. Okay, so right next to Susan's property, there's a field not owned by them, but in that field are some horses. And they say a lot of times when they know that Sasquatch is going to be coming up to the house and everything or around the property when those horses corral in the corner, which is a typical trait we all hear about a lot. In this audio here, you'll hear the horses. You'll hear them 3 times, and then you'll get some wood knocks in there. This is a good example of what they hear sometimes. So that was the first horse, and we'll skip the dead space. The second time. And this will be the third time. And then about 2 minutes and 20 seconds after that, we're going to start getting our knocks or slaps. And it's almost 3 minutes later for the next one, which is louder. Okay, so yeah, horses, that's a good alarm to have.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh, something running on top of the house?
Yeah, they come in. I said, why did you send Devin up on the house? He said, I didn't. I said, you're lying. Devin was up on the house.
Little
No,
guy.
seriously, we weren't on the house. Oh, okay.
Got that adolescent up there.
Yeah, that's what we figured is Junior, as my husband
Junior.
called him. That's Junior.
Mom and Daddy paying attention to that baby. And
Yeah,
Junior
Junior's
said,
running
well, I'm gonna go
wild.
play.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Well, they got
Junior is very mischievous.
they got a great area out here.
We love it out here. My mama and my stepdad tells me I'm crazy.
They haven't. Are they the ones with the additional property out here?
Yeah,
They haven't had any activity over there?
I think they have. They just don't know realize what they
Right.
heard. Because the screaming that I got that one day that I sent you, that you know, pull it up. I heard you. That right there come from back here.
That's good right
That's a
there.
good
That's
scream.
back towards them.
That's that way. That come from my bathroom window.
Wow. That's a good one.
That come from my bathroom window on February the 15th.
Wow.
I told my husband we was going to my daughter's wedding. I said, I'm going to set my recorder out because we're going to be gone all day. I'm just going to set it out.
That sounded even better coming from your phone. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, when I got back and heard that, I thought, I mean, my hair just stood up. I think I called it. I asked Mama, I said, did y'all hear any screaming? No, we didn't hear nothing. I said, Mama, there ain't no way y'all didn't hear that.
All right.
None.
They have the denial factor going on there.
Yeah, they got something going on. I love walking back through here, but I won't come by myself. I'm too scared. But you know,
Smart
another
woman.
thing, that we haven't seen snakes.
Huh.
back
No
here.
snakes.
No snakes.
Well, that's
We
good.
We even had a snake hunter come wanting to catch the venomous snakes. Thought, well, they'd be in an ideal spot back here because there's a bunch of old cars and boats and stuff back here. They couldn't find nothing.
That's interesting. But yeah, like Paul said, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah. 'Cause we still haven't found none. Which I'm not one to be scared. I've never been scared of snakes. Oh. They took the whole thing. We had a jar of peanut butter right here. There's the lid. The jar's gone.
She had it tied onto
Yep. It's gone.
this right here.
We screwed it on there and poked holes, and the jar is gone.
Y'all poked a hole in it?
We poked a hole in it.
So I don't touch mine. I don't take the lid off. I've got
Oh, really?
my last one I put out, the seal.
Mhm.
It took and it bit
Oh,
and
Lord.
ripped it off, and I got teeth marks. I got a big old chunk missing out of my seal.
Oh, really?
Teeth marks.
Well, I've
And
been
they
taking the
love-
lids off.
They love leaving the lids.
Well,
They
yeah.
always leave me the lid.
They
So,
let- and
all right. So if we're gonna gift right here, let's
You gonna do the peanut butter?
I got the peanut butter. We're gonna need that camera.
well, I usually gift further back.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just like coming up here.
Okay. This isn't where you leave the apples either.
No.
Then. Okay.
So you need peanut
Go
butter
here.
this morning?
No, we left that about a week ago, and
Alright.
when we come back, it was gone. But that was during all that rain.
Right.
But I still haven't found my peanut butter jar.
I'm gonna give you one word of advice.
Good tree up there.
You have some giant mature trees, and they will stay up in the top of the trees.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I ain't even looking up in a tree.
Yeah. Well, you start looking, you might see them.
Yeah, especially your younger one.
Your younger one's gonna sit up there and watch you.
Oh. Well, dang. I could have been right over my head.
Oh yeah, you watch right under.
You got some awesome mature trees in here. Big old oaks.
Well, I thought my husband was looking for the cat. And I was looking. I put an apple here. Always stick a.
Even the core's gone.
No, I stuck the apple, the wedge,
All the
right
way
into
through
the
it.
limb.
I mean the core and everything is
Yeah,
gone.
everything's gone.
So in your gifting areas, you've got all this around you. So while they're here doing this, if they lean into it and their hair gets stuck, look for hair around where you're
Okay.
gifting that's hanging down.
Because I tried to put I filled the baskets and I had a few left over, and I thought, well, I'm going to put them on tree branches so that I know that the coons ain't going to get up there.
Right.
But if the coons try to get on it, it's just going to go,
Yeah. Just hang down.
yeah.
Is that a young'un?
Whatever it is, it's been rained on and
Yeah.
everything else.
They're probably mad at me because I didn't come last night and take my
Right. All out. There you go. Poison ivy, poison oak.
Yeah, you'll be the one that gets it, all right?
Yeah. Not gonna put my shirt on.
Just the creek. Usually find them coming down through here.
Little
bitty track.
bitty one right here.
Yeah, you'll find them all in this creek.
Yeah, see the toes a little bit there.
Yeah.
That's probably the baby, I'd say.
Yeah.
The junior should be bigger than
Yeah.
that.
Junior.
Oh yeah.
Try not to disturb nothing.
I didn't bring mine.
There's another little track right
I
there.
got a ruler.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't bring
You
mine.
want to reach in there?
There's another one right
It's in the
Alright,
top
I see
one.
it.
Yeah. Can't miss
I see
it.
it.
You got about 7.
About a 7-inch.
smaller than my foot.
Yeah, about 7 inches. Go ahead. Here.
Looks like a slide.
Look like the hill right there. That's a slide. Maybe that's a hill. Maybe it stepped and it slid a little bit.
I think that's definitely his next one. There, look right there.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
See, here's one right here.
Look, 2 slides right there, coming and going. Look at this right here.
Were these fresh over here? I mean, did you see
Yeah,
these
them are
last
all
time?
fresh. Them are all fresh.
You got one
Here's the
here.
First one.
You got one here. You got one here.
Here's the second one.
You got 2 over there.
There's the third one.
Here's one
About 3.5 foot stride right there.
Yeah. There's one. There's one. There's one. I might could double cast this one.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool double cast.
Yeah, it would. Got them coming and going. You got a toe right here.
They're very active in this spot right here. That's why I gift through this area.
Right.
My apples and stuff.
Yep.
Keep them coming. Everybody tells me I'm crazy.
Oh, you're not crazy.
I'm trying to. But I'm
Let
gonna
me
do
get one
more
with my foot
harm
next
to
to it.
myself
There
than
you go.
anything.
There you go. It's
There's a
hard
little
to
bit of a
make out.
slide on this one.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's
Let me get another picture of this.
a little bit of a slide, which makes sense.
Yeah.
That wasn't even the footprint. Like camouflage, blended in.
Got a handprint.
Well, it's washed out, but this is where it was at. But I think
This is gonna be a really good place for nighttime.
Yeah.
looking for crawfish. You can barely make it out now. It was a good one, but you can barely make it out now.
Got a lot of raccoon too. Huh? Yeah.
I see where you stepped over it.
There's a handprint.
You can barely make it
Oh,
out
it's
now.
right there.
Yeah.
It may
That's
have
the
been-
one I sent you. So
He may have been running on all fours.
Yeah.
He may have just went right over this sucker.
He loves this creek bed. Might be because of the crawfish. I don't know. Or this is where the deer come.
Well, that you got raccoon tracks here too, so you got plenty of food coming down here, especially with the lake right back there.
Yeah. I wished I could have got that beer can. It was chewed up.
Oh, yeah.
Had teeth marks all in it, just chewed up. And I said, no, it wouldn't have done that. And then after I got to hearing more stories, yeah, it would have done that, and I should have grabbed it.
Yeah, that'd have been great to see, definitely. But we've all had the woulda, shoulda, coulda moments.
Yeah. Well, now I don't even leave nothing at home. Try not to. You really want to piss them off? Pick in their territory. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think they get on a rampage. Especially if it's a male urine.
Yeah.
A female urine is like, hey,
Yeah.
female,
That's what I mean.
yeah. But a male, they grunt and carry on.
That's a challenge right there, buddy.
My husband was out here one day and oh man, we heard rumors.
Let me grab this roller. We're gonna grab our stuff real quick here.
All right.
Let me grab our ruler.
Look right here. Why is this? Maybe I'm just looking too much in it, but why is that cleared? It looked like maybe where a butt's been sitting. A big butt and a
Yeah.
little butt.
Yeah, You can see
Big butt,
coming
little
right through
butt,
there too.
track going right up through there.
To that field.
Yep.
Thermal that field later too.
Yeah. I can always tell when they're close to that fence.
So do
You
you
said that
gift
was-
any further down than this?
Yep, we get right on down here.
Alright. Brandon.
You said last year that was when your husband saw the female carrying the young.
See, this is an oak track. Right there. And solid.
Okay, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, they got long,
It's an
skinny
old
feet.
track, but yeah, you can see it.
That's it. Yeah.
He does like I do. I plant my foot and put
Yeah. Compare.
because I know what size my foot is. Oh yeah, we don't want to take that too right.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down
We're here.
that way. Yeah, that's a good one. We might incorporate with that one. Look at here, cedar tree pulled up from the bottom. They hate
Oh, yeah.
cedars. They either hate them or they love them. I've been to 3 spots where they have just obliterated every cedar that's in the area.
Well, I've never noticed
They
that.
pull them out of the ground, they snap them.
So you're pointing more things up, and I've never noticed that, and I've walked past this thing.
Yeah, we came across one of the big thickets that was just absolutely destroyed, about 6 foot up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
destroyed.
what it is.
No other trees.
Some people say it's got medicinal purposes for them. Maybe the scent of it they like. Who knows?
You know, people ask me, have I smelt anything? And I honestly can't tell you that I have.
I've only smelt one time. Other than that, any other thing I have not smelt.
So we even put tabs up for at nighttime. When we
Oh
shine.
yeah.
There you go.
Flashlights and get away back out.
Okay, so here we have a great piece of audio. Once again, this is in the back door, right by the shed. And you're going to hear some loud bangs. A lot of activity right in here. And then here we have what sounds like 3 or 4 grunts. It almost sounds like a gorilla, to be honest with you. And then right here, what sounds like a big cat growl or something similar. That we know they do have a cougar on the property. Me and Paul Ragsdale found that out firsthand. And then there's followed up by more bangs. But I love this part right here, so let's have a listen. And we'll skip this dead space. Yeah, we'll let you listen to that one again. Yeah, that's pretty amazing right in there. And so we know this family's got a baby. Maybe we should call him a toddler at this point. But maybe this big cat got too close to something. And Daddy said no. That's just speculation at this point, but let's listen to it one more time. That part's pretty intense right in there. Okay, so on this one we've got about 4 vocals in here. You can see them kind of clearly on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now right here is a nice little slap, bang, or bump, something going on there. These are really far off though, so I basically just amplified them a little bit. I didn't want to clean them anymore because I was afraid I was going to take away from the actual sound, and I'm just not a professional when it comes to this. I'm still learning on the audio, so you'll have to cut me some slack there. But I'm sure you could hear the bang. That's pretty obvious, and I'm pretty sure you can hear that vocal in the background. And it's kind of long and drawn out, going from 10 to 4, so it's a good 4, maybe 4.5 seconds long. I'd love to be able to clean this up to be able to see what's going on here, but it's just not possible for me. But this is the best part to me anyways, this one and this one. So I'll let you hear it again.
Got tunnel vision.
A nice little fresh break coming through here as well.
Yep.
Then you got a bigger structure, and then a cute little structure.
They're out here watching us right now. I guarantee you they are.
Mind your way.
No, you're good.
I can't take much video. This battery doesn't last taking video.
See, I bought this one and I thought I was buying what you got, and I didn't get the